Good evening, everybody. I am today blessed to be among you, among the august audience of Kozhikode. Respected Shri Vijay Kumar sir, who addressed us from his position of the presiding president of today's this program of Amritha Shatam, which has been organized by Kesari on the occasion of 100 years completion of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which has been one of the biggest nationalist movements across the globe. There are no parallels as far as nationalist movements are concerned, which can be comparable even to Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. And there are various thousands of initiatives which have been the green shoots of that nationalist movement, of which Kesari is also a part. And Kesari has been conducting this Amritha Shatam since last, I think this is the 23rd episode of their Upanyas Mala. Shri P N Devdas sir, Shri Shaji Kumar sir, who delivered the welcome address, Shri Unni Krishnan sir, and all the senior members of the society from across Kozhikode and in and around Kozhikode who are present in today's program. At the outset, I would humbly like to state that after Vijay Kumarji's address, I don't have much points left over for me. If there is a syllabus, he has addressed all the syllabus that is there under the gamut of economics of this country. And he has taken a very positive view about it. And as an organizing secretary of an organization which is Bharatiya Janata Party, political party, and his speech was more dearer to me when he wished that again Modi ji should come to power again in 2024. And as an organizing secretary of that political party, I couldn't have wished more from a person who was chairing this program. So I thank you for both, sir. One is that setting the tone of this program and also wishing us best of luck. And I am sure that with your seniority and with your stature in the society, your wishes will surely translate into success also. I am not an economic person, nor I am a student of economy. So I will not delve too much into technical details of the subject. And when people who have accomplished in that field like Vijay Kumar are present on the stage and also among the audience, I don't have the courage to get into the technicality of that subject. But I will take a second approach, which you usually tell, of storytelling. What is happening in this country in the last 9 years. I may sound a little bit political, but you have to apologize for me for sure, because it is not a political speech. It is what is happening across the country. Honorable Prime Minister, with his vast experience in social field, this year, he is his 50th year as a social worker. And this year, it is 21st year as an administrator also. Might have crossed 21st year, it may be 22nd also. As a social activist, he has completed 50 years. And as an administrator, Chief Minister and Prime Minister put together, he has completed 21 years. And these 21 years and this 50 years, two factors have always been the hallmark of his character, hallmark of his administration, and hallmark of his life is, one is, it is credibility. When he tells, he means it, and people also believe it. When he tells that Modi ki guarantee, people believe that yes, it will come. In Karnataka, around 6 years back, I had been on a door-to-door contact program, our massive Samparka Abhiyan. I had been to a very poor family of Halakki Okkaliga family in Uttar Kannada district. It is a very poor section of the society. I went to their hamlet. I went to a hut also. There the lady, she was standing in front of me. She was not allowing me to speak. She was speaking from her side itself. She told that for the first time, something from the government has reached my home, and she was proudly showing her Ujjwala gas cylinder. Something from the government has reached my home. Till now, I used to look at the newspaper whenever I go outside. I used to look at the hoarding, but nothing would have come to my home. And it was only a news to me. And first time in my life, this has been an experience for me. I have a gas cylinder in my house today, and I can offer you tea that has been prepared from the same gas stove and the gas cylinder. When he tells that we will be delivering this, we will be doing this, there is credibility behind it. People now have started believing it. Not only people have started believing it, across the globe, global leaders have also started believing that India will do it. Here, the government will deliver, and there across the globe, India will do it, whatever it may be, to keep up the interest of the country. So that credibility. And the second one is highest level of compassion. So any policy that comes out of his table, any policy that is signed by his pen, it will have a high quotient of compassion. His way of looking at the society, it is rooted too deep in our ideology of Antyodaya by Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya. That was what told by Chanakya also. That was what mentioned by Mahatma Gandhi ji also. And that was what formulated by Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya as Antyodaya. The last person, the welfare of the last person. Even Chanakya also told the same thing. When a king takes up a step, economic step or a welfare step, he should always keep the last person in his mind, not the first person. Not the cream of the society, not the upper sections of the pyramid, not the upper echelons of the society, because they are capable of taking care of themselves. It is only that infrastructure and system that is needed for them. They don't need hand-holding. The upper echelons of the society, they don't need hand-holding. They want some facilities. With that facilities, they can look after themselves. But it is the sections that are in the lower section of the pyramid. At the bottom of the pyramid, which is called in economics, the bottom of the pyramid, when Modi ji came as Prime Minister of this country, that bottom of the pyramid was very huge. And it was 80 plus crore. That bottom of the pyramid, which was classified as lower middle class, poor, and below poverty line. Not even poor, below poverty line. Those who couldn't afford 2 meals a day, or those who couldn't afford basic education, that size was very huge. I am not here to pom-pom telling that now that section doesn't exist. Everybody has come up in their ladder, in their economic ladder, they have come up. I am not here to say it. As our esteemed dignitary he presented before you, the maximum number of people are out of that bracket. The maximum number of people are out of that bracket. Today, India is a country where the poverty level has been decreasing at a wonderful rate as far as the IMF and World Bank are concerned, because of the various schemes. So on one front, when he tells, he means. When he tells, he delivers. And when he tells, he has a pakka timetable. Not that somebody has given a memorandum, so he has to tell something, so he tells it. No. When he tells, he has a plan, he has a roadmap, he has a blueprint. And people also feel that, yes, this will be delivered to us. The second biggest thing is, whether it may be infrastructure, whether it may be economy, whether it may be innovation, wherever it is, compassion, it rules the roost. The compassion rules the roost. With this fundamental factors as in the thought process, the country has been progressing well for the last 9 years, for last 10 years. If you have to gauge any period in history, then you have to look at some other periods also. What was the scenario of this country? What was the image of this country before 2014? What is the image of country after 2014? We were called Fragile 5. To be very specific, we were called Fragile 5. Anytime this may break up. Economically, I am telling you. Anytime this may fall apart. Anytime it may break up. The country was in shambles economically under the most educated economist of our country. But the country's economic was under shambles. It was scams every day. The banking section was it was in dire straits. And every day some or the other kinds of, both the kinds of scams, financial scams also and the administrative scams also, every day it was piling up. And at that time, when the condition was hopeless, people wanted a change, and that change came in the form of Honorable Narendra Modi ji. And what is today after when he completes 10 years of his office on May 26, what is today, India is called as a bright spot. It is not my word, son. Neither fragile 5 was my word, nor bright spot is my word. Both the words are from the intelligentsia, both the words are from the agencies. From fragile 5, now we have traveled a lot. Now India is a bright spot. What bright spot? After 2.5 years of one of the worst nightmares of the human existence, that is called Corona. When you look at something, standing on the first day of 2024, when you look back a little, 3, 4, 5 years, it hasn't been a smooth ride. It hasn't been a smooth ride. In spite of that, today we have this feel-good factor. It was not that we are riding on a normal period and we came up, we achieved something. Not that. It was a very rough patch. Nobody knew what was happening. Especially people in Kerala, they know how hopeless the scenario was. You know it. It was first-hand experience for you. So the last 2.5 years, even now also, again the danger is lurking. Though the fatality is less, again the danger is lurking around the corner. And many people here also in the audience also, they have masked up. And every day on TV also, and when you travel in flight also, there is a request, please mask up, please mask up, please mask up. This is after 4 years. This is after 4 years. After lockdown, after economic breakdown, after 2 years of continuous wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, but India, now from fragile 5, it has traveled very far, very wide, and very wide towards bright spot. How did it happen? It didn't happen as a magic. It was done. It was done with a firm grip on the administration. It was done with a firm resolve. It was done with a kind of compassion which was unheard of in Indian administration or Indian democracy. I will quote you some of the examples which some among you may be aware. As soon as the government came to power in 2014, once I met our one of the best infrastructure ministers that we had post-independent, Honorable Nitin Gadkari ji. I was hearing from here, I was there were some whispers and all. Nobody was applying for tenders. Government was floating tenders, nobody was applying for tenders. Just I had been to his house for my party work, not for administrative work. I had been to his home for party work. Then while telling, I'm in social media, I'm looking at such news, I'm in economic newspapers, I'm reading such gossip. So what is that? Then he explained the situation, what was happening. The project used to get the go-ahead from the cabinet, from the government. The land acquisition process used to start. The tender documents used to be floated. People used to apply for the tender also. And as usual, letter of intent, after taking the letter of, obtaining the letter of intent from the banks, and the project were getting awarded, okay, no problem. But what was the extent or what was the amount of the land acquisition? When the tender was floated, it was 10% land acquisition, 20% land acquisition, 30% land acquisition. Without knowing what will happen in the future, because of the urge for getting their finances right and business right, the contractors also were jumping into that tender process and they were taking tender and they were starting the work also. And it was a huge landmine of litigation. You know what is a land acquisition in our country? It is not so easy. For whatever reason it may be. I will not tell it is unnecessary, but it is not so easy. It is always a maze of litigation as far as land acquisition is concerned. So one by one the litigation used to come up and their project used to start. They used to default in the bank and they used to get defaulted. The Honorable Minister told me, we have only 2 contractors left who can apply for a tender above project for rupees 5,000 crore rupees. We have only 2 contractors left. So my job is not floating the tender now. My job is somehow getting them out of their blacklisting because I don't have any contractors left. And doing projects to the tune of more than 5,000 crore rupees, it is not so easy. It requires many other factors. Government took out one by one person after due legal processes and financial processes, took them out of the blacklisting processes, but while doing it, it set up a SOP where no tender now, post 2017, no tender gets floated without 85% land acquisition. No tender gets. You can verify it now by documents. Without land acquisition to the tune of 85%, no tender gets floated now. So once 85% land is acquiesced, naturally the project, it flows at a gentle phase where contractors will also be not penalized for no fault of theirs. For no fault of theirs. If this is one story I want to keep it. The second one is the vaccine. We all have the blessing of having an Indian vaccine amongst us. We have all taken it. Some 2, some 3, some 4 booster doses also we have taken it. Within 9 months we got 2 vaccines. One was totally made in India, totally researched in India, totally prepared in India. Other was licensed to be produced in India. But the license wala came first, and within 1.5 months the Indian made one also came. How did it happen? It didn't happen automatically. When a system handholds an institution, when a system handholds an individual, when a system handholds a process, this is the result that we will get it. They were doing their research. Government had no say in that research because government is not qualified for making researches. But government can facilitate it. In what kind? For trial, they require people with certain conditions, with certain parameters. Government used to keep those people ready for getting vaccinated or for trial purposes. If the company had to do it, it takes years for the process. But the company was doing the research, government was facilitating some of the processes. And at the end, what was that we got it? We got vaccine within 9 months. Both Covishield also we got, the other one Indian made vaccine also we got. Both of the vaccines we got within 9 months. In a country where polio vaccine and other kinds of all other vaccine, it took 3 decades, 4 decades, 100 years for a vaccine. We got vaccine within 9 months. The third factor I will just present in front of you. Jan Dhan account. It is a fairy tale. Many economists are sitting here. 48 crore Jan Dhan account with the same banking system. With the same banking employees. With the same bankers. 48 crore Jan Dhan accounts. Many among us, we used to murmur. Many among us, we used to complain. If you go to bank, your work gets delayed. The same employees were there in the bank. The same management were there in the bank. No other machineries or no other personnel were pumped into the system. But the same system out of motivation, when you can motivate them for a greater cause, what the system can achieve was shown by Jan Dhan account. Now today, the number of Jan Dhan account that has been opened by the banks are 48 crores. After opening of the bank Jan Dhan account, then came the usual political and usual narrative class telling that zero balance account. This word also you have heard. Zero balance account, zero balance account, zero balance account. 21 crore accounts are zero balance, 19 crore accounts are below balance, 12 crore accounts are zero balance. All these words I have read on newspapers. But what is the condition now? Now it is less than 3% zero balance account. And the people who used to mock at Jan Dhan account, the very same administration which used to mock at Jan Dhan accounts in Kerala, the very same administration which used to mock at Jan Dhan accounts in Tamil Nadu, the very same administration which used to mock at Jan Dhan accounts in Paschim Bengal, they are all using the same Jan Dhan account out of great difficulty because people are demanding direct benefit transfer. They don't want to stand in front of treasury. Even after that also, in Kerala, for a old age pension, people have to stand in front of the treasury, which is unnecessary. Now, today, Jam Trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, Jam Trinity. This is one of the biggest success stories of this country's economic model. One of the biggest success stories of this country's economic model. This Jam Trinity of Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, now it is delivering money to the people, delivering schemes to the people in never heard of transparent manner with zero leakage. Last year, 2021-22 financial year, you will be aghast to hear the number. The direct benefit transfer with the various arms of the administration, both central government and also the state government, it is 7,73,000 crore rupees across the country. 7,73,000 crore rupees with zero corruption. You take 5% of it, it is 35,000 crore. You take 10%, it is 75,000 crore. You take 15%, it is 1,15,000 crore. You take 20%, it comes to 1,40,000 crore. But with direct benefit transfer, 7,73,000 crore rupees in 2021-22 financial year, which may go up to 8.5 lakh or 8.75 lakh crore rupees in 2022-23, because it's still being calculated by the various arms of the government with the same jam trinity, Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile trinity. Now, with a pinch of salt, even the other parties also have to use that system, because people have become adjusted to that system where there is zero leakage and where there is zero corruption. More than 10 crore people, more than 12 crore kisans, more than 12 crore farmers, they are getting 6,000 rupees Prime Minister Kisan Samman Nidhi in 3 tranches of 2,000 rupees each on April 1st, on July 1st and November 1st. Every year they get it. It's already 4 years running. It's already 4 years running. The scholarships, the scheme, the subsidies, everything is being delivered now through the DBT to the beneficiaries. This has been the extent to which the country has been managed till today. These are all not, I am not telling these are all much big economic data, but these are the things, 3 key words that have been guiding our Prime Minister, that have been guiding our government at the center as far as economy are concerned. You will be feeling happy to hear all the 3 words. The number 1 is Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay's Antyodaya word. This is the guiding light of our government. This is the guiding light of our Prime Minister. The second one is Acharya Vinoba Bhave's word of Sarvodaya. When you look at the last man, look at every other person also, because people have to move in chains and they have to move together. So it is Sarvodaya. And at the same time, the welfare state of Mahatma Gandhiji, Ram Rajya. The Antyodaya, the Sarvodaya and the Ram Rajya, these are the 3 guiding lights that have been guiding this government. And with this in mind, the government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been taking the country forward in never before scale. In never before scale. Yesterday was another day of accomplishment. Yesterday, with Qatar, India started trading in rupees. Even I don't understand the significance of that in totality. And people like Vijay Kumarji, they will easily understand the significance of it when we have started trading in rupees with other countries. It is not only the rulers of this country, it is not only the traditions of this country, it is not only the culture of this country. Now, the currency of this country is also getting strengthened and also it is getting respected. Earlier, we used to trade in dollars. We used to purchase dollars from outside, then pay in dollars. It is always when you purchase and when you give it to somebody, it is always a loss. There used to be commission. Commission in the positive sense, not corruption sense. But when you are paying in rupees, that shows the strength of the nation and that shows the strength of the currency also. And today, slowly, with around 27 countries, as far as trade is concerned, India is paying in rupees. This is the extent to which we have changed. So, when you look at the numbers also, numbers is not my fiefdom, but without numbers, many a times economy may not be understood in total also. Many of the numbers, our honorable president of today's event, he mentioned it also. But when you go to the numbers, average inflation, yes, it's a little high. Because of Ukraine crisis, it is a little bit high. Otherwise, it was 3.6, 3.8%. But in spite of Ukraine crisis, in spite of energy shortage, in spite of power shortage, it is only 5%. When compared to 2004 to 14, 10 years, it was 9.8%. And this 9.5 years, it has been 5%. So, there are various numbers which we can give. The GDP growth, it can, in spite of Corona. When somebody fails in a class, usually he comes and, no, I had fever on that day, so I had, the failing was a guaranteed thing. No, when I missed the bus, so I couldn't attend the exam, so I failed. But in a country as large as India, with a population as high as India, you can't tell excuses. I missed the bus, I had fever, so I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. You can't tell the excuse of corona when you address problems of a country like India. In spite of corona, this is our GDP. Not with corona. In spite of corona, this is our GDP. You look at every single number. It may be foreign exchange reserve, it may be current account deficit, it may be total exports. Our production was totally hampered for 1.5 years. The companies were shut, the shops were shut. Even now, the supply chain is not to normal. I'll come about the supply chain at the fag end of my speech. Even today, the supply chain has been disturbed because of Ukraine. After corona, immediately there was Ukraine. So the supply chain is still disturbed. But in spite of that, our exports have increased. Our production has increased. In every number where you can see the number of people who are filing tax. It is not only that the amount of tax that comes to the government, it is also the people are also getting responsible. People are also want an administration. When they know that their administration is delivering, they are also ready to give whatever they have to give as part of tax also. Slowly, the tax net is also increasing. For 2014, it was 3.6 crore and now it is 7.4 crore. See, every single number, without the exception of any factor, in spite of corona, it has been on the ascendant path that you can see all the macroeconomic accomplishments. What did we inherit? Corona was what we got in between. What did we inherit? It was only scams that we got it done. Right from coal to Commonwealth to telecom, 2G scam, for everything. You can't imagine it sitting here in Kerala, what Raja did in Tamil Nadu. He had got a telephone exchange of 17,000 telephones. For his businesses, unaccounted, nothing, everything under the sun. 17,000 phones. And from there started this 2G scam. So this was the inheritance we had when we came to power in 2014. And what is now in 9 years of scamless, spotless government. 9 years of scamless, spotless government. You just imagine how watchful the leadership and the system would have been now. In a country like us, where every now and then accusations keep on failing, they keep on accusing Prime Minister, they keep on accusing the government, they keep on accusing Bharatiya Janata Party every day, every hour, every 6 hours, every 3 hours on social media, every day. Ram Mandir invitation is also controversy. The national symbol that has been mounted on new parliament building, that is also a controversy. New parliamentary building, since it is spacious and technologically it is up to date, this is also a controversy. Our Honorable President Mahamahim Rashtrapati Ji, she coming to a program is also a controversy. Not coming to a program is also controversy. Not being invited is also a controversy. Creating controversy is not a very rare phenomenon. Because now you have social media, you don't need to wait 24 hours next day morning to create a controversy. As soon as the TVs came, the controversies were 6 hours apart. Now, the controversies are being generated every second minute on social media. Every second. In spite of that, this government has been spotless, this government has been scamless. One thing they murmur, वो ये कर सकते, वो कर सकते, लेकिन उनके ऊपर कोई दाग नहीं लगा सकते. I can accuse this way, I can accuse that way, but nothing is sticking. And this man and this government have become Teflon coated. Nothing is sticking. We are accusing, but nothing is sticking. And this was the thing that we inherited. But now, what is, as I told earlier, and the words that also keeps ringing in your ears also in economic circle, from fragile 5, now we are into the bright spot of the globe. Many countries are not faring well, but India is faring well. So it has been called by the international agencies at bright spot. कुछ हो रहा है वहाँ. बुक तो मैनेज नहीं है चाइना के जैसे. Ours is not a managed country like China. Ours is a democracy. But everything is in open. Where a private public enterprises, private things are 100% in open. Government things are also 100% in open. So we can't cook up and tell something. What is happening? Something real things are happening here, which was not being done for last 70 years, almost 65, 68 years, which was not being in that. The pace Along with the credibility and the compassion, the pace is also in the same way. When you go into Gati Shakti project, you will understand the pace at which it is being done also. The government has a blueprint ready, where to put the mobile towers, which flyover to be built first, not out of political pressure. As far as railway over bridges and railway under bridges are to be constructed, it cannot be done in a single year. It takes multiple years to do it. But based on the economic activity, based on the population on two sides of the railway line, in Gati Shakti plan, government has a blueprint ready, which railway overbridge has to be taken first and which railway overbridge can be delayed by a year or two. Which mobile tower requires urgent attention, which mobile tower is not so priority. It can be taken 6 months later, 8 months later, 1 year later. But this mobile is necessary, tower is necessary. It may be in Andaman Nicobar, it may be in Lakshadweep, Bangaru Island. There the mobile tower is urgent. In some other cases, it can be delayed a bit. Well researched, well documented, based on security, based on economic activities, the Gati Shakti plan has been ready. This is the pace at which the India is. No country in the world has put hydrogen economy in such a fast pace. Our firms are coming up with, as far as hydro products are concerned. Firms are coming up. With this pace, India is moving forward. So, the macroeconomic indicators have to be viewed from the point of view of what we inherited, not plainly. And what came in between. What we inherited, the scamful government, and what came in between, Corona. These two things have always to be kept in mind when you see the mega growth that is happening across the country. Structural reforms. Nobody had the courage to touch it, and this government had the courage to touch it because it meant business. I will not go into detail because there are many experts of this field, and there is no necessity to go into this thing also. Why the banks are again coming back into the economic activity field with green shoots? Because of these structural reforms. The other day, around 1.5 months back, in Bangalore's JP Nagar 7th phase, one of person known to me by name Pradeep Pai, I will name him also. One of my person known to me by name Pradeep Pai, he sent his housewarming ceremony's invitation to me. And he told that you have to look at, you won't come, I know. He told that as soon as he posted, he told you won't come, I know. But read the backside of my invitation and understand the significance of that matter. There, on the backside of it, he had mentioned the advantage of RERA Act, because of which he and 1,700 people in that complex got their home within stipulated period because of RERA. And he told that if you come sometime, I will assemble all those 1,700 people, residents in front of you, and we want to thank Modi ji through one among you. We want to thank Modi ji. It is because of the RERA Act. More than 2.5 lakh houses have been delivered to the home buyers in last 3.5 to 4 years. In spite of reluctant attitude of various state governments to implement it. The implementation has to be done by the state government, but various state governments are reluctant to act on it. So its progress is little slow. But in spite of that, more than 2.5 lakh has been delivered to the home buyer, which were stalled for decades together. All these structural reforms acts that were done. Demonetization, we know it. The RERA Act that I had mentioned, the fifth one, the Benami Transaction Prohibition Act, every single one of the structural reforms were brought in last 5 years. The hydrocarbon exploration policy, the DBT, which I had mentioned earlier, the double taxation avoidance agreement, these were also the things that were brought. I will not go to the extent of reading every single structural reform. I can share the matter with you also for your reference. The public sector unit banks. Even our ex-Reserve Bank Governor Raghuram Rajan candidly admitted that the phones used to come from power corridor for the sanction of loans. Now you go to any CMDs, I'm on camera, I'm in front of distinguished audience. If one CMD complains you about some calls come from power corridor for sanction of loans, you may hang me. the whole system was ridden with such faults. The power corridors used to ring up and tell banks for the sanction of loans. Now the whole system has been set right. And today power sector unit bank, the profit has been at the record high. Profit has been at the record high. It is not some micro benefits or micro growth. It has been macro growth now that is happening across the country. These are the various things. Around 4,387 large borrowers, or 85%. All these things have been addressed now. NPAs have been addressed to a very large extent with the combination of various measures. One is the structural reform. The second one is zero tolerance towards the corruption. The third one is scouting for efficiency as far as the banking sector is concerned. The fourth one is merger of banks. Because in various cases, the two branches were vying for the same customer, which was not necessary at all. It was competition among the government departments of the two departments of the same government. So merger of the banks was also done in a very scientific manner so that the productivity could increase. With all these put together, now public sector unique banks, slowly but definitely, they have started performing also. The stressed account, they were reclassified as an NPS. There were big articles by Chidambaram. There were very big articles by Jairam Ramesh. When stressed accounts were redefined as NPS, some book adjustments are being made. No, it was the structural reforms were being made. That also, you know it. One of the biggest efforts of the demonetization. What was the purpose? To break the unholy nexus. What was the impact? You know the impact of it. For the last 4 years, the amount of cash seized from unauthorized illegal sources is from the same ED department, which was almost debunked during Manmohan Singh's era. It is 2,40,000 crore rupees that has been seized. During demonetization, where the cash is hidden, the trail of the caches, all these things were recorded. And today, we are reaping the benefit because of that demonetization. And the demonetization is not a one-time affair. Now, the second cycle also started and got completed, where you had to submit your second level of currency also. This demonetization, it will continue in a respectable phase, in a moderate phase, till the economy is spruced up in totality. The GST, yes, the product was initiated by UPA government. They couldn't take it through because consensus is the biggest thing in democracy. Without consensus, in a federal structure like India, where taxation is done by both central government and state government and also by local bodies also, if there is no consensus, then you can't bring all players onto a single table. With the negotiating capacity of Arun Jaitley, with the iron fist of Narendra Modi ji, and with all the arms of the government putting their head together for the greater good of the country, today GST is there. Yes, there are many teething problems. Even after 4 years, there may be many complaints from the audience if I leave it to question answer session. So I will not claim that everything has been set right, but GST is there here for years to come together now. It is not going to go anywhere now. The consensus, it was brought about. For bringing about the consensus, 2 items were left out of GST. Many people criticized when the 2 items were left out of the GST. But to bring about GST, to bring about a consensus, some negotiation, some trade-off is always necessary. Liquor and petroleum products, they were kept out of GST. That was also out of consensus only. Because states also wanted a breathing space. They also need a smoking pipe. So 2 items were left out of the GST, liquor and petroleum products. But leaving them aside, till today, every single GST meeting, it has been unanimous decision. Mind it. People who are not, who doesn't know that system, you should understand that if it in GST Act itself, the rules is there that in GST meeting, resolution, decisions, amendments can be done only by consensus, not by voting. Not by voting. It is only by consensus, because even if there is a single state which is opposing, they may be opposing because of the interest of their state, which may be legitimate. Uttar Pradesh is very big. Maharashtra is highly industrious. Goa is very small. on the shadows of Maharashtra. Kerala doesn't have industry. It has remittance on a large scale. So every state is different, and every state's economic indicators and income is also different. So there had to be a trade-off. There had to be a trade-off. But the condition in GST was, when it was launched, it was only by consensus decisions can be taken. And in this party democracy, when various parties are ruling various states, and some are ideologically, personally, highly inimical to us. Highly inimical to us. They are sitting across a table and it is being decided with consensus. What they come and tell outside, it is politics. What is the statement they come and give outside, it is politics. But inside the room, the rule is that you can take only by consensus. So they also understand that when we have agreed, we can't criticize too much. But they criticize for political things. We have also left it okay. When the decision is made, you criticize it whatever you want. But they agree for deciding. And today, GST has come to stay. The first and the foremost reform because of GST is the traffic jam on various roads because of various toll taxes. It has stopped. Now it is only highway toll tax, that's all. Other than that, all other tax counters across the country, except in one or two states of Northeast, now it is not there at all on the horizon of this country. Right from there, which is a silly reform, as I told, to the last thing. Now, there is uniformity in taxation across the country for all products, other than two products. One is liquor and second one is petroleum product. So, this has been the extent to which the GST has made a positive impact on the society. There are, as every chartered accountant, every economist, every taxation specialist, he has a suggestion. He may have a better suggestion. That suggestion may not be a very negligible suggestion. It may be a very good suggestion also. But every time it is taken into consideration, every single has been discussed. Some are kept pending, some are rejected, and some are accepted. But the vehicle is moving ahead. गाड़ी तो आगे बढ़ रहा है, वो रुका भी नहीं है, पीछे भी नहीं चल रहा है, लटके भी नहीं है. It is moving forward. It is moving forward as far as GST is concerned. RERA, I told you, the DBT also, I have mentioned it at the initial stage itself. One of the small factors I will tell. Over a period of last 6 years, when the effort was started, around 4 crore, 3.99 crore duplicate ration cards. Today there is a very big post by Honorable Jairam Ramesh on social media. Just while coming here, I read it. There are 17 crore Narega cards. Their payments has been stopped by the central government. I am making this statement very cautiously. 17.9 crore Narega cards. Their payment has been stopped by the central government temporarily. Cards haven't been cancelled. Again, I am underlining, cards haven't been cancelled. Their payments have been withheld temporarily. Why? They are not doing their seeding, Aadhaar seeding. The government has brought in a rule that every Narega card has to be seeded with Aadhaar number. Otherwise, we will start inquiry. Since it is rural and poor section, we are not cancelling the card. We are only initiating a inquiry whether the person exists or not. Whoever is well versed in Narega field here, they know that thousands of cards exist in each and every district which are fake, which are done by contractors. Government is hell-bent on cancellation of these cards because Narega amount is meant for giving rural employment, not for employment to contractors. It is meant for giving a temporary 200 days employment to rural people. So this Aadhaar is being made compulsory. In the same way as ration cards were also brought into this field, more than 4 crore ration cards across the country, in first phase also they got cancelled. This is the extent to which the the hard nuts, hard pills have to be taken for the welfare of the greater good. That is also being taken by the country and also the government. The Prime Minister's one of the famous sentences is turning challenges into opportunities. This has been almost on an everyday basis. He keeps telling this in terms of in front of some or the other group, whether it may be students or women or administrators or chief ministers or party people like us. He keeps on telling, always think at turning challenges, converting challenges into advantages. And he did it during Corona times. There are very many things. Labor reform, they started during Corona. Agricultural reform, though we had to take it back, it was taken up during Corona. Defense sector opening up to private companies. Corporatization of ordnance boards. Not privatization of ordnance board. Corporatization of ordnance boards and opening up defense product to private companies. That was also during taken up during Corona time. Privatization of civil aviation industry. Industry word has been, and coal mining. In civil aviation, private was already there, but there were many other aspects of aviation industry which were under the control of government. That was also private. So, lot of such things came up during Corona, and adversities into advantages. This was the original idea behind it. Another biggest idea is social sector. It is taking center stage. Swachh Bharat, 11 crore toilets. It impacted the life of each and every woman who was the resident of that house. Only people who have suffered can understand it. No other stories or books can make you understand it. Jal Jeevan Mission, it is an ongoing project. 12 crore Ujjwala beneficiaries, they are using it. 3.7 crore houses built now. 63% of them registered in the name of the house wife or the mother of that house. 63% have been registered in the name of the woman of that house. The urban and rural housing. Electrification, Saubhagya. Electrification of villages first, then hamlets also. None of the hamlets now, which has a group of houses, are non-electrified. There is no hamlet across the country now. Single houses may be there. So, PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, it is 8.5 crore house. Unhindered, uninterrupted. And the last but not the least, Janaushadhi Kendrasan. People who take medicine regularly for certain ailment, they know how that is affecting their life now. Not one-off purchase of medicine, like for blood pressure, for BP or cholesterol or diabetes or whatever it is. People who have to take regular medicine every day. Janaushadhi centers have been making a wonderful change in their life also. So in the same way, we can state many of the factors which I don't want to repeat. During COVID-19 period, direct cash transfer, financial assistance, and also the biggest thing that is happening across the country is continuously for the last 3 years, the BPL families getting free ration. The most basic minimum thing that is required for a human being, that is being supplied by the government. The grant is for 80 crore people and a 16 crore family. But not that much of scale is being picked up from the ration shop. A little lesser, around 60% is getting lifted from the ration shop. That is also making a biggest contribution as far as poverty alleviation is concerned. Agriculture has been another area. Reforms have also come. Investments have also come. And also modern technology is also being implemented there. Now the dragon fruit, which was the trademark of China, now it is grown in Tripura, it is grown in Kutch, it is grown in Karnataka, it is grown in Maharashtra, and from every place it is being exported also. The queen pineapple from Tripura is very famous in Arab countries. So small items which are specialities of a particular region, they are also being picked up into the international market, and government is hand-holding them along with FPOs. Through FPOs, government is hand-holding those small products also as far as the agriculture is concerned. And slowly and surely, with the MSPs also increasing, the doubling of farmers' income, it is becoming a truth, slowly but firmly. MSME also, right from changing the definition, the ECLGS scheme and the PL, production linked production linked incentive scheme, and the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, ECLGS and PLI scheme. These have been run of success schemes of the government during Corona time. You go to everything, even lawyers also demanded our firm should get the grant under this scheme. The doctors, nursing home, they also started demanding, we should also be included. And when a certain section of the society demands itself to be included in a particular bracket, that shows the efficacy, success of that particular scheme. Otherwise, why anybody will get into that scheme? The ECLGS scheme and the PLI scheme of the government during Corona time, which was introduced, has made our economy more stronger, is for sure. And that has been the case study of the many of the international financial institutions also. I will not delve into detail of MSME. The biggest success story of this government, I think, is Digital India. The biggest success story of this government. You go downstairs, you go to a Pani Puri stall here, right here a Pani Puri stall. You go to a coconut, tender coconut selling stall, right here. I will not boast of anything. 99% there is a guarantee that he will accept digital currency. 99%. Where? In India. 5 years ago, this was a fairy tale. One Kritika Ramaswamy by name lady, I don't know who it is, she wrote a social media post. I came to India after 9 years from US. And this is my third day in Chennai, she writes. I can pick it up and give it to you because I have read it multiple times. This is my third day in India. She landed at Chennai from US. This is my third day in India. And all these 3 days, I haven't taken up a little currency that is there in my person. I haven't taken out. I have gone to hotel. I have had lunch there. I have gone to shop. I purchased vegetable there. I purchased flower also, she tells. In front of a temple, I purchased flower also. But there also, there was no need to pick up cash. The lady there, she was also telling, no, Paytm mein pay kar sakte. You can, Paytm le kudgala paisa. The digital thing, it has been a fairy tale. It is not only a success story, this has been a fairy tale. And it started from Jandan accounts. It started from Aadhaar seeding. It started right through. And even today also, if you take a corona vaccine in US or UK or European countries, North European countries, which are well developed, way ahead compared to India, there you get a handwritten certificate, even today. Not yesterday, not day before yesterday. Even today you get a handwritten certificate. But in India and around 87 countries where they have implemented our Arogya Setu, in 87 countries where they have taken the help of Arogya Setu, it is a one-stop solution for all certificates and all information regarding corona. It is a one-stop solution. You also go to Arogya Setu, even today's case also it will be there. Yesterday was 787, today maybe 1000. It will be updated. Arogya Setu app will be updated. But even in US today also they give handwritten certificate to you when you take COVID vaccine. And this has been the success story of the Digital India. Today the BHIM app, the UPI, the RuPay card. Whenever you take out a card, there was only 2 cards in my childhood days and my college days. One was Master and another was Visa. But now, when you take out for every one Master card, there may be 3 or 4 RuPay cards. For every Visa card, there may be 7 or 8 Visa RuPay cards. Volume is picking up. The Master and Visa are from Western countries, developed countries. RuPay is from a developing country. So the volume is picking up. I am not telling it is commensurate, the amount is picking up. But the volume, it is way ahead of Master and Visa card. Today, RuPay card, it is ruling the roost in the economic world of the country. And every single country has started co-opting UPI. The BHIM app, the UPI and the RuPay card, these have also become one of the success stories of this government. Digital India and digital economy. You have to read the books. It is like novels. When you read those books, it looks like, it goes ahead like a novel. Such has been the fairy tale of this country as far as Digital India is concerned. There are very many things. I will not go into the details of digital. The Modi government's biggest achievement in the area of investment is stable business. The OSDN networks, open source digital network. I have to mention it in front of you. Because you know, the app-based economy, the digital-based economy have picked up across the country. But smaller firms, they can't afford to have their own set of code or their own set of technical software or whatever it is. This OSDN, open source digital network that has been floated by the government, anybody can use it. It is free for use. You can go on that platform, design your own market, design your own application, and you can take it forward. In that way, the GEM portal, there are 360,000 vendors on GEM portal. 67% of the government purchase in low technology items, it happens through GEM portal. And 38% of the vendors on GEM portal, they are women. They are women. You will get very good Kozhikode halwa also on GEM portal. You get very good Manaparai Murku also on GEM portal. You get authentic Mysore Pak on GEM portal. Everything done by a housewife. Everything prepared by a housewife. 38% of the vendors on GEM portal, they are women. And more than 60% of the purchase by the state and the central government, as far as low technology items are concerned, they are through GEM portal. So, the small industries, the small firm, the housewife sitting in a house, who is very conscious about the quality, who can prepare well, who can pack well, who can maintain the quality, now she has the means to sell it. She need not go outside. She can do all her duties as a housewife and also participate in the economic well-being of the country also. Such has been the progress as far as Digital India is concerned. The policy making that I had already mentioned it. Atmanirbhar Bharat, with few sentences I will go ahead. Group of ministers was called a day. After the cabinet meeting, they were given a task. You have one full day, a workshop for you. List out all the items. You can use your phones. It was after the cabinet meeting. You can't bring about phones there. So you can use the phone. What all are not manufactured in India, which we use daily? It is not some rocket or satellite or rocket fuel, which we use it, but not made in India. People started listing it. I'll tell you simple items. Aero bridge. When you go to Kozhikode airport, aero bridge, it was not being done in India. CT scan, every 10th or 11th person who is sitting here because of age, you might have undergone a CT scan. You might have undergone a CT scan. No machines in India. Why? Don't know. 8,500 such items were listed on that single day by ministers using their phone and inquiry. 8,500 items. And for every minister, around 100 to 150 items were divided. Based on your capacity, see to it that India starts manufacturing it within 1 or 2 years. You will be happy to know that we are around 60% result now, first class. Our strike rate is almost 60% now. Now aero bridges are made in India, except aperture. That lens aperture, CT scan machines are being manufactured by Tatas in India. Only aperture they purchase it from Japan. Software and all other things are being manufactured in India only. And today drone, the biggest success of Indian industry is drone. You have to look at the drone shows that are being done across the country. It is to near perfection. The last time on January 29th, during the Beating the Retreat program, the software was developed by IIT Delhi itself, by the students, final year students of IIT Delhi. Such has been the scale of Atmanirbhar Bharat. During Corona, Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is not only for some bigger item, go vocal for local. Purchase items from your neighborhood. Purchase items for your neighborhood. Why go abroad when you have a place like Radhanagar beach in Andaman Nicobar, when you have a place like Kovalam beach, when you have places like Ooty or Nilgiri? Why go out? Tour inside India, go vocal for local. And he went, our Prime Minister went a step further during Uttarakhand Investors Meet, telling that why go for destination wedding outside the country? Do destination wedding inside the country. So the economy will be inside the country itself. So go vocal for local is being taken wide and far, so that the economy of the country will flourish. So Atmanirbhar Bharat itself, we are not a closed economy like North Korea. We are not a closed economy, we are an open economy. Krinavanto Vishwamaryam, Anobhadra, Kratavo Yanto Vishwataha. Let good come from everywhere. But where it is not necessary, you don't need a foreign country to make chips or murku or Mysore pak or halwa. That a housewife can wonderfully prepare it and provide means for marketing for her. So we are not a closed economy. We are not closing ourselves, barring ourselves from the world industry. We are open to it, but in spite of that, we are harping on self-reliant Atmanirbhar Bharat. There are 4 transitions that are happening. With this, I will wind up my speech. India is also a part of the global chain. As I told earlier, we are not a closed economy, we are an open economy. The digital transition is happening. You can't escape from it. You have to take out the benefits out of that digital transition. India is well equipped for it as far as technology is concerned, as far as government's hand-holding financial help is concerned. India is well equipped for it. The Digital India program, reaching out the optical fiber network to the last village panchayat. It is not for just seeing film or something content on mobile. It is for industriousness. Today, if you go to Andaman Nicobar, if you go to Bangaram Island, 6 years before, 7 years before, 8 years before, it was very difficult to book rooms there. But today, you can sit here in Kozhikode and you can book a room in Bangaram. Very aramse you can book it. The optical fiber cables have reached wide and far inside the remotest corner of the country. So, that digital transition, whatever is happening across the world, the benefit of digital transition has to be reaped by the country. Our generation, young generation, it is also capable of doing it. Our intuition, for example, you can go for internet and you can look at the number of innovations that are happening only from a single parameter. What is the number of patents that is being issued every month in India now? It is 17 times more compared to 3 years or 4 years. 17 times more patent issued. That is also an indicator of the innovation that is happening. 17 times more patents are being issued now every month. And month on month, there is an increase also. There is one digital transition which we have been reaping the benefits on. The second is the energy transition. The energy, it was petro-based or it was coal-based. Coal-based, according to various climate agreements, which India is also committed to, slowly it is getting phased out, coal-based. The petrol-based, you need not phase out. It itself is getting phased out. So some say it is only 30 years more, some say it is only 40 years more, some say no, 70 years more, but nobody tells for eternity petroleum will be available. No single person in the universe is telling that petroleum will be available for eternity in the world. It is only argument, it is happening between 30 years and 70 years. I am also a science student, so I am telling you numbers. The argument is between 30 years and 70 years. So what after that? So easily I came here from my office. Many of you came easily. So after 30 years when there is no petroleum, so the world is moving towards green economy. In every sphere of activity, it is moving towards green economy. And you will be happy to know under Narendra Modi, India has been not only a leader in this green economy, it has been a motivator in this green economy also. And we have been leaders. Not only for implementing the Greek economy, and because in international diplomacy also, we are a country which are advocating for the whole of this South Arc countries. Now today, the heads of government of small countries or island nation, they look at India for advocacy. They look at India for better green economy. They look at India for better agreement and negotiation in international table where they were not a force at all. The set of 126 countries which are grouped under Global South. There are 126 countries. Global South. Very small. Some are very small to the tune of 11,000 population. 11,000 is their population. Where will the countries like China or Brazil or Argentina or South Africa or UK or US will hear them? But now India is the leader for all these countries, global south, both pre-G20 and post-G20 also. You might remember 6 years back, we created Solar Alliance of 56 countries. 6 years back, we created Solar Alliance of 56 countries in New Delhi. So India has been, when energy transition is picking up pace, India is also moving ahead with the same pace. In some cases, it may be little more pace also on the green economy, the solar economy, the hydro-based economy, other non-conventional sources, and also now the hydrogen-based energy. So India has been picking up pace in all these respects. Now we have, as far as June is concerned, 70 gigawatts of solar energy has been installed capacity of India. And very many times more, 172 gigawatts are being set up across the country. The Kutch has the Kutch of Gujarat, it has the biggest solar facility across the globe. The biggest solar facility across the globe. The same way, demographic transition. We have it. The younger population, we have it. Another 16 years, 18 years, we will be having that younger population. It is a cycle. It is not for eternity again. It is a cycle. But India is well poised to reap the benefits of that demographic transition, and it has been visible in everywhere. And the government is also empowering that young population, is also to be seen across the country in various aspects. And the last, another one that as I missed for PPT is the supply chain transition. Post-corona, the supply chains have been totally disturbed, and the way they are operating is also disturbed. Earlier it was everything, the whole world moves through China. This was an economical sentence. The whole world moves through China. Now it is disturbed. Now China has become most discredited nation as far as industry and economy is concerned. You can't live it because everything of yours is in China, of very many countries. Now slowly the countries are started looking at another country along with China. Apple, another along with China. Tesla, along with China. Another country along with China. Every industry from the West and the East, they are looking at another manufacturing facility away from China. China is there. They can't take it out the building and human resources and come out. But who is that other country? 90% of the destination for other country is India. As far as supply chain is concerned, as far as overhauling is concerned, as far as various other component industries are concerned, India is becoming a hub of those activities. And India is preparing itself for it also. So as far as supply chain transition is also concerned, number one is digital transition. We are reaping benefits out of it. The second one is energy transition. The third one is demographic transition. And the fourth one is the supply chain transition. In all these four transitions, we are way ahead the process. Luckily, if we can maintain our pace, we will be reaping much of the benefits out of these things. What will be the effect of all these things? Where we will be in the coming year, as our chair has already described it. We were in 11th position. Now we are the 5th largest economy. In 2014, we were the 11th largest economy. Now we are the 5th largest economy. Again, I am underquoting it, in spite of Corona. In 2027, we will be 3rd largest economy. Then the movement will become little difficult, because the difference between the 2nd and 3rd will be huge. Again, I am not here to boast of telling that, no, before 2029 election we will be first. The difference between 2nd and 3rd is huge. But we are running at a very good pace. Very good pace. We will be by 2027, if nothing disruption comes, which I will state what may be the disruption. If none of the disruptions comes on our stage, we will be the 3rd biggest economy. And our GDP, it will be 7-fold more as this economy picks up. So we will be a 5 trillion economy by 27. It will be the 3rd largest economy by 27, 28. Our economy will be 10 trillion by 33, 34. So it is if we maintain the same pace. And we are well poised to maintain this pace as far as the economy is concerned, as far as the will of the people is concerned. There are challenges also. No travel is without risk. So only when you purchase vehicles, they will tell under ideal testing conditions. Hero Honda, the vehicle of my generation, I don't know whether it is there now or not in the same format. Hero Honda, under ideal circumstance, ideal condition, I went to a showroom, he told, under ideal condition, 82 kilometers. It was an inquiry for me. I had to take it, I had to purchase it, but I came out and asked somebody of my friend how many kilometers it is giving, 43, 44 kilometers. Then I started studying what is this under ideal condition. Don't touch to ground, pick it up onto a pole, then start running the wheel, it will give 82 kilometers. Where such roads will be available to you under ideal condition. So our economy is also, we cannot pass through only ideal conditions. There will be lots of hiccups, there will be bumps, rides, everything. What are the bumps, rides or hiccups that may be? One is this global recession because of Ukraine. These are all business created wars. I am making a very conscious statement. Not ideological battles. Not expansionist battles. These are all business created battles. So if this global recession because of Ukraine, if it extends too much, we will be in trouble. Because we are dependent for energy on way too many countries. For petroleum products, we are dependent on way too many countries. We are dependent on Venezuela, we are dependent on Russia, we are dependent on Gulf countries, we are dependent on many countries. So global recession may... Geopolitical risk, Israel, Palestine, America, China. There are China, Taiwan. It will be on our neighborhood only. If it happens, it will be on our neighborhood only. China, Vietnam, China, Philippines in South China Sea. It may affect our economy. Crude oil prices because of the adverse geopolitical risk. If at all, there is no question of it. But when we look at the momentum, there is no question of it. If there is an unstable government, if there is no majority, then everything will be come to standstill. If there is a change of government also, again, what are the options? It is the same setup of 2004 to 14, if there is a change. I am just telling you the risk factors, that's all. Because in a very good planning, they always account for risk planning. And we are also a good political party, we also always account for risk factors. In spite of this risk, how to get a majority and better our last result will always be our efforts. We are also doing it, but in spite of that, if there is an unstable government, that is the biggest risk factor for economy. As far as the economy is concerned, I have to put it in front of you. But we have the confidence that it will not be so on. What will happen? The same scenario may come up in front of you as it was between 2004 and 2014. Friends and all the elders, first I thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand before you on a subject of which neither I am a student nor an expert on. Because of my responsibility, I keep hearing, I keep reading, I have to study due to compulsion. I keep hearing, I keep studying also to understand, and by compulsion I have to participate in some of the exercises. With that, whatever I have presented in front of you, with a pinch of salt, I am telling that if anything is wrong, I have stated in front of you, please, I seek your apologies. But that is my fault. But as far as the economy is concerned, it is on a growth trajectory. It is in firm hands. It is leak-proof, scam-proof, and it is in the hands of people, not single person, I am not telling it. It is in the hands of the people who are there for a purpose. Who are there for a purpose. For example, I will tell you one single thing. When Shaktikant Das was appointed as the Reserve Bank Governor, there was a lot of hue and cry. He was not an economist. He was not an economist. It has been 3 years since Shaktikant Das has been appointed as the Reserve Bank Governor. Last year, he has got the Best Banker Award from IMF. He is not an economist. He is an IAS officer by profession. And because of IAS officer, because of Sanghatan Mantri Pracharak, since I had to read some economic, in the same way, he also has handled economy. But he came to Reserve Bank, he meant business, he was there for a purpose, he was there well connected with the government, with good relations with the government, in dialogue mode, and today he has been awarded the Best Banker Award by the IMF. So this is the quality of the people who are sitting there in various offices. Guided by 3 mantras of post-independence. One is Ram Rajya. All these are post-independence. I am not going to Chanakya or I am not going to Vedakalin Yuga. Post-independent, 3 words have been put in front of us. One was Ram Rajya by Gandhiji, the second was Sarvodaya by Vinoba Bhave, and the third one is the Antyodaya by Deen Dayal Upadhyaya in the same timeline. First it was Ram Rajya, then it was Sarvodaya, and the last it was Antyodaya. And this government has taken up all 3 words in right earnest, and the result is what I presented in front of you. And this is the starting of the story. And there will be very many stories in the days to come together, is what I can state in front of you. Thank you.